Here we are in Pimai at the storage house where we keep most of the artefacts from the last few years of excavation at Ban Non Wat. That's the excavations from 2007 through to 2011. What I'm going to show you here today are just a few of the pots that we have from the site. Mostly Bronze Age pots and one neat sort of classic Iron Age pot as well. So we're going to start with this little fellow here. This is a nice little Bronze Age pot. This is from the very beginning of the Bronze Age. These little goblets are classic for the very earliest part of the Bronze Age at Ban Non Wat. Little cup shape with a nice little pedestal. In this case there's some red painted designs on the outside, and if we look on the inside here we can see red stripes radiating out from the centre on a black surface. Just a very neat, simple little container, and again classic for the very beginning of the Bronze Age at Ban Non Wat. As we move into the later periods of the Bronze Age, this stage 2 and stage 3, we get quite a nice range of really nice big and quite decorative pots. And so here's a couple of examples here. In square N100 near the centre of the site, down near the base of the excavation, about 5 metres down, there was a large burial jar, quite a big round burial jar, and this pot here, or this dish, was on that burial jar as a lid. It was placed upside down over top of the burial jar. You can see on this top surface here, or this back surface here, nice red spiral design painted onto a sort of a lighter beigey red background, and you can see here a scar where a pedestal for this dish would have been placed, would have been attached. On the inside, again you can see the same painted design, or a similar painted spiral design on the inside. Very cool pot, and quite a nice and decorative example. Later on in the Bronze Age, but the same sort of shape, we can see this little dish here. Again, a pedestal dish, and this is, if we want to imagine what that last large dish might have looked like when it was complete. Here we can see a small pedestal dish. Here's the pedestal, the foot at the bottom here. Perhaps on that larger jar, on that larger dish, the pedestal would have been straighter and longer with a more definite foot at the base. This one here, nice reddish brown design. You can see a bit of a paint or a slip around the top edge here with a rough margin to the area that hasn't been slipped. And on the inside surface that slip has been burnished in sort of a streak-wise manner, which is quite classic for the later Iron Age at the site, where the burnished pots tend to be black rather than red. Perhaps the most classic sort of design for this period, the Bronze Age period in this part of Thailand, is this trumpet-shaped Ban Prasat style pot, named after the site of Ban Prasat, which is along the main road between Korat City and Pimai. This trumpet-shaped neck and mouth is the most obvious feature and the defining feature of these pots, as well as this little round body, a bit of a carinated edge, and a nice little foot. In this example, there's some cord marking around the bottom part of the pot, and then the top surface is burnished and smooth around here. The most interesting thing about this particular example is that you can see some of the spiral design that was painted onto the outside surface. And we know particularly from Morochai Wirarong's PhD work that these design elements are probably carried over from the Neolithic period into the Bronze Age, and then probably also into the Iron Age as well. So while the shapes of pots change quite distinctly from the Neolithic to the Bronze Age to the Iron Age, these design elements suggest that the same culture is being transmitted from one period to another. Another quite neat element of design, or another type of design, is this pot here. So we can see this from the early or the middle Bronze Age period at the site. And here we can see a rice cooking style pot. Generally they're rounder in their shape. It's got quite a sharp coronation and a flattened appearance when you look at it from the side. Cord marking around the body here, incised wavy lines around the edge here, and some little dotted punched dots around the margin between the cord marking and the burnished painted surface on the top here. And finally, these little red painted dots across the cord marked area. So a really nice, neat little bit of design. Quite distinct, quite and possibly similar to pots from Ban Non Wat, a middle to late Bronze Age site, not too far away from Ban Non Wat. Finally, just want to show you one of the Iron Age pots. This is a classic Iron Age burial jar, a child's burial jar. Here you can see the sort of conical shape. There would have been quite a pointed little base right at the bottom here, quite a neat neck and shoulder at the top. Usually black all around. You can see this one is a bit of a mixture of black and brown around the outside edge. Perhaps not quite as carefully fired as some other examples. On the inside, we can see the burnished black, or the very black surface with burnished streak design on it. So we can see around the inside some sort of lines going around and around the inside surface there, and perhaps you can see just in here some little lines at an angle going around the inside edge there as well. So the inside was decorated as much or perhaps more than the outside surface on these pots.